So we're here in my garage, and my brother is currently working on getting a new engine into his Honda Accord. But actually what we're here to talk about today is going to be my 2019 Honda CB650R motorcycle. So I bought it a couple weeks ago, and although it's low mileage with only 6,100 miles when I bought it, it had been sitting for several months because the previous owner had passed away, and it made its way into my possession through an estate sale. Now, tires are good, chain is good, brakes are good. I've ridden it a few hundred miles already. There are some maintenance items that we need to immediately do to it to ensure the longevity of this motorcycle. And that's going to be cleaning up the chain, changing the oil and the oil filter, and the number 3 is not required, but the CB650R has this really ugly rear end, this really ugly fender or whatever they call it, where the license plate and the turn signals go. Motorcycle looks so good, and then you just have this thing sticking out in the back. So we're going to be removing that and replacing it with an eBay tail tidy / Fender Eliminator kit. So without further delay, let's get into it, starting with the chain. So I do not have one of those motorcycle lifts where you can lift up the entire motorcycle by the rear axle and the swing arm. Finding one that works for this motorcycle, that is on my shopping list, but I was looking under the bike earlier, and there's a certain shape to the muffler where I think that we can have the side stand down and then jack up the right side of the motorcycle just enough to where the rear wheel can hover and we're able to freely spin it while we lubricate this chain. So this here is the oil pan. What we're looking for is further back here, there's this square, and something in my brain almost tells me they want you to jack it there. Alright, so my idea worked. On the left side it's on the side stand, meanwhile the right middle is being jacked by the floor jack on the actual muffler. And that's raised the rear wheel just enough where I can rotate it freely without having to put a stand under the swing arm. So the main thing is this kit is safe for O-ring chains like my Honda has, and these bristles, these are not metal bristles, these are plastic bristles. So they're not going to harm the rubber parts of the chain, and they're not going to score the metal where they shouldn't. Nice and soft. Now we're going to move on to our Motul road chain loop. This works for O-ring chains. O-ring chains have lubricant integral to each link, and it's held back with an O-ring. This is mainly for the outside of the chain, you know, on the sprocket, etc. Chain is now looking a lot better than when I had bought the bike. Now we're going to move on to the engine oil here, so I'm going to drop the bike back down. The drain bolt for this bike can be found going straight down from the left hand side, and then this right here is going to be your drain bolt. What kind of goddamn torque? Oh man! Now as far as these bolts go, it's very important that when you're pulling it off, that the sealing washer comes off with it. You could reuse it, you know, I've reused them sometimes, but these crush washers are a consumable part. They're meant to be replaced with every oil change. I have some new ones, so we're going to do it the right way, and we're going to change this out when we put the plug back in. So we can see that the channel lock makes quick work of the stick oil filter. after wiping off the vicinity. Then we've got our new Honda crush washers. Then our new filter, it's a K&N 204-1. Nice thing about this guy is we don't need the channel locks. It's got this wrench off design where a 17mm wrench or socket can fit on the end there. Make sure you remove the film, of course. And then I'll grab some waste oil to run around the O-ring and then to put on the threads, just a little bit. It's always hard to tell how much you're torquing it when you're using one of these wrench-off filters, so I periodically check with my hands. And that looks about right. That feels about right. Now let's get some oil in there, and then we can finally move on to the tail tiny. And over on the right-hand side of the motorcycle, on the crankcase, there's this thing, which serves as both the fill plug and the dipstick all in one. And we'll stick a funnel in there. And this is going to be our oil for this first change. This is from Walmart. It's SuperTech SA10W40 motorcycle oil. It meets all of the specs from the manual. The only difference is the manual calls for 10W30 and this is 10W40. It's the same cold viscosity, a little bit thicker when operating. This will work for the Colorado hot summer. There's one. And that there is about 1/3 of a quart remaining in here. So now comes the most interesting part today, and that's going to be installing this tail tiny kit. It has the turn signals, it has the license plate lights and the bracket, and it's really going to help to clean up the rear end of the motorcycle. Let's get to it. So to install this kit, we're going to start off by removing the rear seat, and then we're going to unbolt the rear, taking care of all the wiring connections, and then splice in the new kit, get it all back together, and then that should be it. So we're gonna go under here, and there are 4 button head, 8mm metric. Oh man. Now it is hanging by the wires. This just goes through here like this. And these 2 screws in the back of the light align with the 2 holes on there. This squeezes together like that. And then you use the little fasteners that came on the light to fasten it to the bracket. It was supposed to come with 2 more sets of these countersunk screws along with the lock nuts. It only has 1 pair. And I checked all the bags and that's all I have. So rather than being able to install these ears and then have the license plate hanging lower, in the interest of time and getting this together for tonight's ride, I'm just going to mount my license plate directly to the bracket here. And those are wide enough to do that. Everything else, turn signals, everything else being equal. So I've got this all assembled and tightened down, all the wires coming to a nice uniform spot. I'm decided I'm not even going to bother with their little adapter harness or wishful thinking because we're already going to have to splice for the license plate light. So we'll just splice for everything. So I'm just going to cut the factory harness like right here. So we won't even need a multimeter for this, I don't think. We have a teal and a red, a teal and a brown, and a teal and a light blue. We can see from the broken one that the teal and the red is on the left here, that's for the left blinker. The teal or green and the brown is for the license plate light, which means that the teal and the blue, the only one remaining, that's for the right blinker. So now I'm going to bolt this up to here to get it all stable, and then we're going to wire in what I just stripped off here. So I've got everything connected and crimped up. It's difficult to crimp and hold the camera steady at the same time, so I had to put the camera down. But you can see all of the greens I chose to make the ground, and that's correct. Everything's wired up. It's all sitting kind of precarious, but if we go to test, you can see the license plate light is on, and then left, right, and I can do my hazards. So important distinction here is, in the front, at least with the stock wiring, they act as a marker, so it has a partial brightness to it, and then when it's blinking, it's brighter. But in the rear, they're just always off until they're blinking. All that's left to do is heat shrink, wrap, clean up, and then ride. So we get these heat shrunk pretty nicely. And you had to use the torch because I don't have my little heat gun right now. Then for the wrapping, I'm just going to do electrical tape because I don't have any test fit tape or harness tape right now. This wrapping doesn't look half bad either. Now I'm just going to pull the remainder inside of the frame. Moment of truth. So because of where that license plate light sits, I wasn't able to use the actual fasteners to get the license plate on the bar, so I just had to resort to the good old zip tie method. Despite the zip ties and the electrical tape wrap, I think I did a pretty good job, and it looks so much better than whatever Honda had decided to put on the rear to begin with. Anyway, thanks for watching this video until the end. Leave a like if you like this video, leave a comment if you're looking to do something similar to your motorcycle, or just leave me with your thoughts. My name is Konstantin, I'm a software developer here in Colorado, and I post a bunch of car, tech, motorcycle, and other life content to my YouTube channel. So if this video interests you, have a look at the others on my channel, and then consider getting subscribed as well. Thanks again for watching till the end. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.